I watched the pressure gauge hit the red zone and knew we had maybe 90 seconds before the blast furnace blew. Cody Phillips was standing right there with his tablet, talking about optimization metrics while 2,500-degree molten steel was about to turn our Pennsylvania plant into a crater. My name is Wade Morrison. I'm 48 years old. I've been working steel since I was 25, and I know the difference between spreadsheet numbers and reality. Cody had this way of talking where every sentence sounded like a PowerPoint slide. He'd graduated from Kellogg with his MBA 6 months ago, and corporate transferred him from Chicago to modernize our operations. 30 years old with zero hands-on manufacturing experience, but he could quote efficiency ratios like gospel truth. The gauge was climbing. I reached for the emergency cooling valve. "Don't touch that," Cody said. "The automated system handles temperature regulation. We discussed this in yesterday's meeting." "That system's been acting up for 3 weeks," I told him. I filed reports. The computer shows all systems working fine. The computer was wrong. I'd been listening to this furnace for 23 years. It had been running hot all morning, making sounds that meant trouble. But Cody believed his screen more than my ears. I turned the valve anyway. The pressure dropped. The furnace settled into its normal rhythm. "Crisis over. You just overrode a $2 million automated control system," Cody said. "I just saved a $50 million facility." He made notes on his tablet. The same look he used when he explained why my 23 years of experience was legacy thinking that needed upgrading. 23 years I'd given Allegheny Steel Works. Started as a furnace operator when my oldest son Ryan was born. Worked every shift, learned every system, built relationships with every supplier. When I started, this plant was chaos. Equipment breaking down constantly, orders getting messed up. Quality control was a joke. The previous operations manager had quit after 8 months, said the complexity was impossible to handle. Multiple furnaces running different steel grades, precise timing for rolling mill schedules, coordination with shipping that had to hit exact delivery windows. One mistake could cost millions. I took the supervisor position because Sandra was pregnant with Brad, and we needed steady income. Those first 2 years, I worked 70-hour weeks. I learned every grade of steel we produced, every customer's specs, which suppliers were reliable, and which ones tried cutting corners. I figured out how to read the equipment by sound. A furnace running wrong has a different vibration. Rolling mills make specific noises when bearings start wearing. You can't learn that from a manual. I built quality control systems that got rid of defects, created maintenance schedules that prevented breakdowns, talked with suppliers until they trusted our operation. It took 5 years before everything ran smooth. After that, it just worked. Steel flowed from raw materials to finished products. Delivery schedules stayed on target. Customers stopped complaining and started placing bigger orders. My boss back then, Roger Hamilton, used to say I made complex manufacturing look effortless. Then he got promoted to VP. He appreciated what I'd built, understood that good operations required experience and judgment. We had lunch monthly to discuss improvements and challenges. Roger valued results over credentials. Then Cody arrived. 8 months ago, corporate brought him in to leverage digital transformation opportunities. He never asked how our systems worked, never wanted to understand why certain processes existed or how we'd achieved our safety record. He just wanted dashboards that made him look innovative when he reported to headquarters. "I need real-time data," he'd say. "Numbers that show operational excellence. Build me presentations for corporate." I did it because that was part of my job. But Cody acted like the results happened automatically, like anyone could manage what I'd spent decades perfecting. He'd tell people in meetings, "Our computer systems basically run themselves now." Very streamlined operation. It wasn't streamlined. It was 23 years of expertise disguised as simplicity because I'd eliminated every problem through hard-earned knowledge. Cody didn't see any of that. He saw a $110,000 salary he could cut by installing more sensors and hiring someone who knew Excel. "Wade, I need to see you in my office," he said that Thursday morning. Same MBA smile he always wore. I walked into his office, generic corporate setup, no understanding of what actually happened on the plant floor. "We're restructuring operations," he announced. "Found someone who can modernize our processes for 60% of your pay. Digital automation, predictive analytics. The future of manufacturing." I said nothing. "We've identified your replacement starts Monday. You have until end of day to document your processes and hand over responsibilities." Hand over to who, I asked. "You said he starts Monday. Today is Thursday. create a knowledge transfer document. Shouldn't take long since you've always said how systematic everything is. I never said that. He said that. But arguing wouldn't change anything. Fine, I said. His smile flickered. He probably expected me to argue, maybe beg for another chance. I didn't give him that satisfaction. I walked back to my office and started typing. Furnace operating temperatures for different steel grades. Cooling schedules that prevented cracking. Which suppliers needed 2-week lead times for specialized alloys. Quality control checkpoints that caught problems before they became disasters. Maintenance indicators that predicted equipment failures. Safety protocols that kept people alive. 6 pages in, I realized how pointless this was. My replacement wouldn't understand any of this without context, without seeing the operation in real time, without making the inevitable mistakes and learning from them like I had. This wasn't information you could learn from a document. It was knowledge built through experience. That afternoon felt weird. Normal plant sounds continued around me. Furnaces running, rolling mills processing steel, forklifts moving materials. All the systems I'd built functioning perfectly while I sat there writing their death certificate. Around 4:30, I packed my personal items. A coffee mug from our safety award ceremony, a jacket for cold warehouse walks, family photos, a small cactus that somehow survived despite no windows. Not much to show for 23 years. That night, I sat in my truck in our driveway staring at our house. Sandra would be grading real estate contracts. Ryan would be studying mechanical engineering. Brad would be practicing guitar. Normal Thursday evening activities that suddenly felt precious and threatened. I walked into our kitchen and found Sandra at the dining table with client files spread everywhere. She looked up, smiled, then noticed my expression. "What's wrong?" she asked. Ryan wandered in from the living room, textbook under his arm. Brad followed, still holding his guitar. "I got fired today," I said. "No point sugarcoating it." The silence stretched for maybe 10 seconds. Then Sandra stood up and hugged me, just holding on. "What happened?" she asked. "My boss decided he could replace me with computers. Digital transformation." "That's crazy," Ryan said. "You built that whole operation." "Yeah," I said. "I know." "What about college?" Brad asked quietly. Between him and Ryan, we were looking at $35,000 in tuition bills next semester. "We'll figure it out," Sandra said, but I could see the calculations starting in her head. Real estate was good when it came, but unpredictable. My salary had been the foundation. "Do you have severance?" she asked. They didn't mention any. That night, I lay awake thinking about Roger Hamilton. He'd been VP of operations for 12 years, oversaw 6 regional facilities, managed maybe 800 employees across the Northeast. Cody reported to someone who reported to Roger, so they'd never worked directly together. But Roger and I had a relationship going back 8 years. It started when a supplier tried ripping us off for emergency chromium during a production crisis. They figured we were desperate, marked up prices 400%, expected us to pay without question. Purchasing wanted to just accept it. Said we had no choice with delivery deadlines looming. I looked at the situation and said, "Give me 6 hours." I called every contact I had. Found alternative suppliers who could deliver the same grade chromium for standard pricing. Saved the company $240,000 on that single order. Roger heard about it, called me personally, said that kind of creative problem solving was exactly what the company needed. After that, he started checking in regularly. We had lunch scheduled for today at noon. We always did Friday lunch because his mornings were packed with corporate meetings. I looked at my watch, 11:45. Should I tell him I'd been fired or just cancel? I decided to go. Maybe he could help me find something else within the company. My phone started ringing as I pulled into the restaurant parking lot. Roger's name on the screen. I let it ring, figured I'd explain in person in 10 minutes. It rang again. Again, on the 4th call, I answered, "Where are you?" Roger's voice had an edge I'd never heard. "We have the quarterly operations review in 30 minutes. Your manager keeps saying you're not available. What's happening?" "I didn't quit," I said. "Cody fired me this morning, said he found computers that could do my job for less money." Silence. I could hear Roger breathing, background noise from his office. "He what? Fired me, told me to pack my things and create transition documents for my replacement?" "I'm looking at the agenda right now," Roger said. His voice had changed, gotten colder. "You're listed as presenter for the safety compliance report. Quarterly production analysis, equipment maintenance review. We do this every quarter. Wade, you've never missed one. I know. I was planning to be there. Then Cody called me into his office. More silence. Then stay near your phone. He hung up. I sat in my truck watching normal Friday afternoon activity. People getting lunch, heading home early, living regular lives. For everyone else, this was just another day. My phone buzzed. Text from Roger. What's your manager's direct extension? I sent it. Then I waited. 35 minutes passed. I tried not to imagine what was happening. Roger calling Cody. Cody realizing he'd made a huge mistake. My phone rang. Unknown number. Hello, Wade. This is Diana Foster from Human Resources. I'm calling about a termination that was processed today under your employee number. Can you confirm you met with Cody Phillips this morning? Yes. And he informed you of termination effective immediately? Yes. Did he provide severance documentation, exit procedures, proper authorization forms? No. He just told me to pack my things and write transition notes. I heard typing. Lots of typing. I see. And did he mention performance issues? Disciplinary problems, safety violations. He said they found computers that could replace me. Cost savings, more typing, longer this time, okay? Thank you. Someone will contact you shortly. She hung up. 2 hours later, Cody called. I almost didn't answer. Wade. His voice sounded strained. There's been a mix-up. We need you back immediately. I said nothing. There was a procedural issue with HR. Your termination wasn't properly authorized through the right channels. We need you to return Monday morning. What happened to your computer solution? That fell through. Look, this was a company mix-up. We value your expertise. You're critical to operations. Critical. He'd never used that word about me before. The VP needs the quarterly reports, Cody continued. You have all the historical data. Nobody else can generate the analysis in time. I'll think about it. Wade, please. I need an answer now. We have corporate obligations. You didn't care about that yesterday morning. I made an error in judgment, but we can fix this. Come back. We'll discuss a pay raise. I hung up. That weekend, I told Sandra everything. About Roger's intervention, about Cody's panicked callback, about the satisfaction of watching someone realize they'd thrown away something valuable. What are you going to do? She asked. I'm not going back. Not to work for someone who thought I was disposable, but the job search. We'll figure it out. You always said I should value myself more. She nodded. I can pick up extra showings. Ryan can apply for work study. We'll manage. The boys took it better than expected. Brad seemed proud that I'd stood up for myself. Ryan started researching financial aid without being asked. Monday morning, Cody called me 8 times. I didn't answer. By noon, my phone was ringing constantly. Different shifts, different departments, all asking the same questions. Where were specific quality control documents? Which suppliers to contact for emergency materials? How to read the maintenance reports I'd created? Troy Bennett from the maintenance crew called around 100. Wade, I know you're not here anymore, but we have a crisis. The main rolling mill is making sounds like it's about to seize up. Your replacement is looking at the computer screen, but it says everything's normal. Bearing housing on the drive side, I said, needs immediate lubrication service. Shut it down now or you'll destroy the whole unit. Thank you. He's been running it all morning because the computer said it was fine. Troy hung up. 30 minutes later, another call. Different department. Furnace temperature readings didn't match production requirements. Nobody knew how to adjust the control settings. I walked them through it. Then another call. And another. Cody's voice got more desperate each time. Please, everything's falling apart. Nothing works like you made it look. The replacement quit after 2 days. Said the job was completely different than described. What did you describe? Equipment monitoring. Data analysis. I didn't realize it was this complicated. You never asked how it worked. I'm asking now. Come back. Name your salary. I thought about it. Going back, taking a raise, returning to something familiar. But I'd spent 23 years building systems for someone who never valued the expertise, who thought I was easily replaceable. No, I said. Wade, please. The quarterly review is Monday. Corporate is demanding full operational analysis, safety compliance reports, production efficiency data. I don't even know where half of that information is. You should have learned when you had the chance. I hung up. The next 4 weeks were strange. I'd spend mornings applying for positions, afternoons fielding calls from my former workplace. The operation was collapsing in real time. Equipment failures they couldn't diagnose. quality control problems causing customer complaints, safety violations piling up because nobody understood the protocols I'd developed. I started being selective about which calls I answered. Enough help to prevent total disaster, not enough to save Cody from the consequences of his decision. Roger called once during that period. "You doing okay?" "Yeah." "Job hunting?" "Good. I know the situation isn't ideal for operations, but Cody needs to understand what he threw away. Some people only learn through consequences. What if he can't figure it out? Then we'll make alternative arrangements. But that's not your concern anymore. You gave 23 years. You don't owe us anything else." The job search was harder than expected, not because of qualifications, but because I was being particular about fit. I wasn't jumping into another situation where experience wasn't valued. I had 4 promising interviews, one with a regional competitor, one with a manufacturing company expanding operations, one with an automotive supplier building new facilities, one with a steel fabricator looking to modernize their processes. The fabricator interview went best. Lisa Turner, the CEO, walked me through their entire operation personally, small but growing fast, plans to expand across 3 states. Needed someone to build their manufacturing systems. "What's your timeline?" she asked. "I need this done right," I said. "Not fast, but right. You'll have growing pains, equipment challenges, quality issues. This isn't something you automate away. It takes experience." Lisa nodded. "That's exactly why we want you." During my 4th week of unemployment, Sandra closed a big commercial deal. We celebrated with dinner out, first time since I was fired. "You seem different," she said. "Lighter. I feel different. Like I'm not carrying someone else's judgment anymore." That night, Lisa called with an offer. Director of Manufacturing Operations, $135,000 base salary, plus equity participation. Small team initially, but with budget to hire and build as they grew. "When do you need an answer?" I asked. "Take your time. We want you to be sure." I was sure, but I took the weekend anyway. Monday morning, I called Lisa back. "I'm in." "Excellent. When can you start?" 2 weeks. "Perfect. Welcome aboard, Wade." That same morning, Cody called one last time. I let it go to voicemail. Later, I listened to the message. His voice was hoarse, defeated. "Wade, I know you've probably moved on. Just wanted to say I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you did here. I thought it was just reading gauges and following procedures. I was wrong about everything." He paused. "If you ever want to consult, we'll pay whatever you ask. I know I can't undo this, but maybe we can work something out." I deleted the message and blocked his number. My first day at Turner Steel Fabrication felt different from Minute One. Lisa met me personally, walked me through every department, introduced me to every team member. No rushed orientation, no dumping me at a desk with technical manuals. "What do you need to be successful here?" she asked. "Time," I said. "Time to learn your products, your customers, your specific challenges. Building manufacturing systems isn't instant." "I know," Lisa said. "That's exactly why we hired you." The operation was chaotic when I started, but manageable chaos. Equipment scattered across inadequate floor space, no systematic workflow, suppliers frustrated by inconsistent specs. I'd seen this before. I knew how to fix it. I spent my first month learning every product line, every customer requirement, every equipment limitation. Taking notes, asking questions, building mental maps of how everything connected. Lisa checked in weekly. Not micromanaging, just available. "How's it going?" "What obstacles can I remove?" That's what good management looked like. Someone who understood that helping employees succeed was how companies succeeded. Meanwhile, stories filtered back from Allegheny Steel through industry contacts. Roger had kept his word. Cody was now personally responsible for all operations. Every decision ran through him. Every mistake fell on him, and there were plenty of mistakes. Pete Rodriguez called me in my 2nd week. I'd worked with him for 12 years. He supplied specialized alloys, high-precision stuff requiring careful handling. "Your old company keeps messing up orders," he said. "Wrong specs, wrong delivery schedules. I've tried working with their new management, but it's a disaster. Any chance your new company needs alloy suppliers?" I talked to Lisa. She was very interested. We worked out an initial contract. Pete shifted a portion of his business to us. Then Shane Campbell called. Same story with maintenance supplies. Same frustration with the chaos at Allegheny. Same interest in working with my new company. Within 6 months, we'd acquired contracts with 5 major suppliers who'd previously worked exclusively with Allegheny Steel. Not because I recruited them, but because they valued reliable partnerships, and those partnerships had been with me personally. Lisa was thrilled. You've brought in $12 million worth of new supplier relationships. That's incredible business development. I wasn't trying to steal anything, I said. They called me. I know. That's what makes it so valuable. These aren't sales calls. These are established relationships choosing to follow you. That's the kind of reputation you can't buy. About 8 months after I started, Lisa called me into her office. We're expanding, opening a second facility in Ohio. I want you to oversee manufacturing for both locations. Build the Ohio system from the ground up. It was a promotion, more responsibility, more money, more recognition. I'm in, I said. You don't want to think about it. I've been thinking about it since I walked in here. This is exactly what I want to do. Building the Ohio facility was deeply satisfying, creating something from nothing, knowing it would work because I understood what made systems function. I hired an assistant, Marcus Thompson, 27 years old, recent engineering graduate eager to learn. He asked thoughtful questions about everything. He wanted to understand not just what to do, but why. Training Marcus reminded me of learning the business myself 25 years earlier, showing him how steel moves through production processes, why certain temperatures matter, how to anticipate problems before they become crises. He absorbed everything, took detailed notes, made mistakes, and learned from them. Within 8 months, he was handling daily operations while I focused on strategic planning. That's what succession should look like. Not firing someone and hoping their replacement figures it out, but deliberately building knowledge, transferring expertise, creating systems that survive beyond one person. About a year after my firing, Troy Bennett called me. Wade, this is Troy from Allegheny. I'm leaving next week. Found something better. I wanted to thank you before I go. Thank me for what? You probably don't remember. But 6 years ago, I made a huge mistake. Mixed up maintenance schedules nearly caused a furnace shutdown. Cost would have been massive. I thought I'd be fired. You found me in the shop, completely panicking. You said mistakes happen. Let's fix it. You stayed 4 hours after your shift helping me sort everything out, never told anyone it was my fault. I remembered. Troy was a good worker. One mistake didn't define him. You didn't need to call, I said. I needed to, because when you got fired, I felt sick. We all did. You'd helped so many of us over the years, fixed our problems, covered our mistakes, taught us how to do things right, and the company just threw you away. Troy paused. I wanted you to know that we noticed. We remembered. A lot of people have left since then, because if they could do that to you, they could do it to anyone. After Troy hung up, I sat thinking about what he'd said. I'd never considered that my firing affected other people beyond just me losing a job, that it sent a message about how much loyalty meant to that company. Over the following months, I heard similar stories. People reaching out, thanking me, telling me they'd moved on to better situations. Some had taken positions at my new company, others had found different paths entirely. Lisa mentioned it recently. We've hired 8 people from your old company in the past year. They all say the same thing, that you showed them what good work looked like. They wanted to work somewhere that valued that. You built more than manufacturing systems at that place, she continued. You built a standard. People saw how you worked, how you treated them. When the company failed to meet that standard, they left. I'd never thought of myself as a leader. I was just someone who showed up, did the work, helped when people needed help. But maybe that was leadership. Not titles or authority, just consistency, integrity, treating people like they mattered. The boys are doing well in college now. Ryan's studying mechanical engineering, wants to work in manufacturing like his old man. Brad's considering business school, but the kind that focuses on operations, not just spreadsheets. Sandra's real estate practice is thriving, and she doesn't have to worry about me coming home frustrated every day. Sometimes I drive past the old Allegheny plant. Still operating, but I hear through the grapevine that they're struggling, quality issues, customer complaints, safety problems. Word is they're looking for a new operations manager. Again, I don't feel bad about it. I gave them 23 years of my life, built systems that worked, trained people who cared. When they decided that wasn't worth keeping, they made their choice. I'm 49 now, running manufacturing operations for 3 facilities, making more money than I ever thought possible, working with people who value experience and knowledge. My assistant Marcus just got promoted to site manager for the Ohio facility. He's ready for it. Lisa asked me the other day if I ever regret leaving Allegheny Steel. Best thing that ever happened to me, I told her. Sometimes you don't know you're in the wrong place until someone pushes you out the door. Maybe that's what made the difference in the end. Not the firing itself, but what came after. The choice to value myself the way I should have all along. The choice to never again accept being treated as disposable when I knew damn well I wasn't. Experience isn't just something you have, it's something you become, and no computer system can replicate the wisdom that comes from 25 years of solving real problems with your own hands. The biggest mistake companies make isn't firing the wrong people. It's thinking that loyalty, knowledge, and relationships are costs to cut instead of assets to treasure.